Hello guys, so basically today we're going to go through 5 tips of how to win more TFT games immediately and immediately improve your game. Now the first one is to do with the early game. Now you want to try and concentrate on getting 2-star units right at the start, because these are the things that are going to be helping you win the battles. Like sometimes you can have just one more 2-star unit than the enemy, and even if your synergy isn't correct, it could mean that you're going to win the fight. Even you could come up against someone with 5 units and you have 4, and just because you've got 2 stars, you will easily beat them. You know, like even if people like this Lucian here, who's got a good item, yeah, it may help you, and it may be one of the best items in the game, or a fairly good item, but having those 2-star units will allow you to beat those enemies. And then once you've collected together your 2-star units, as I think a problem, people choose their synergies too early. So you started collecting your 2-star units. Once you've got a little bit into the game, around about the wall stage, you should start thinking about what synergies could be active. You know, what synergies are a little bit off just being one piece ready to go. Because I see a lot of people stick with the synergies that they get in the original game, or even that first piece that you get from the carousel. People sticking to that individual piece when it doesn't necessarily determine what you should stick with or how you should play your entire game, as the mid, early and late game are all completely different stages. Now the second tip is on gold management, or your economy. How you manage your gold can determine how well you will do in a game. You can literally carry a game through just by having a specific amount and having enough to roll through for the piece you need, or even having enough to claim a level up when you need it. Because you could have everyone else on a level 7 and you're still stuck on level 6, and even though your synergies are good and your pieces are good, having that one extra unit on the board for the other players is giving them a chance to dominate you. Now, sorry if this is way too basic a tip for some of you, but people have to understand that if you have 10 gold, then you will get an extra bonus 1 gold every refresh. If you have 50, you'll get an extra 5 gold. So in reference to how many multiples of 10 of gold you have, you will get an extra piece every start of your turn. Plus, you get the bonus 5 gold from starting like every refresh anyway. So if you've got 50 gold, you'll be getting 10 gold every time, plus the bonus win streak or loss streak, depending on how well or badly you're doing. So this significant difference in gold can really make a difference to whether you win or lose the game. I would honestly always recommend trying to stay above 10 to 20 gold, unless you've specifically spent all your gold to try and level up to a certain level that helps you start winning when you're losing, or if you need one more specific piece and you know that no one else is using it, you may use all your gold to keep rolling, but trying to stay at least above 10 to 20 gold to get an extra couple of gold will really help you in the game. I mean, if you can stay above 40 and 50 or even higher, then even better. Like if you're above 50, then everything you gain in interest you can roll, and it doesn't even matter, because you're constantly going to be getting that 5 extra gold bonus from having 50 in the bank. Now the third tip is about items. Items are a very strong indicator of how good a player is, I find, when you see them. Like what items they're combining, whether they're putting the items on the right character. Because if you're getting items for shapeshifters or for sorcerers or for your tanks maybe, and you're putting them on the wrong character, like if you're putting a tanking item on a sorcerer, then it's not going to be as helpful. Or you're putting an item that gives you extreme spell damage boost and you're putting it on one of your tanks that doesn't really use spells that often and has got quite a slow attack rate, then it won't benefit you. Or same if you have an item like the Cursed Blade, which de-levels on hit, then you want to be putting on rangers or gunslingers that get multiple hits on multiple enemies just because they're having their synergies buffed. I would also say that in the early game, in the carousel, in the first few characters, yeah, okay, it's good to have characters that you need or that you want, or certain ones that you like, but realistically, I normally tend to go for items in the early stage, because having certain combinations of items can really sway an entire battle, and having the right combination of items can really change an entire battle. Depending, if you've got one piece with 3 superbly strong items, you must have seen it before while you're playing. There's one piece like a Gnar or a Kennen with 3 ridiculous items on, and it's just carrying the. Similarly, people make combinations of wrong items early, or even put the wrong items on low level units that aren't necessarily going to be used as well as they could be. Like, you could put an item on a Darius and then end up with, you know, a level 3 Garen that is way stronger, and if you had to put it on him, it would have helped you a lot more. And I see people putting these items sometimes on, for example, say you've got a tanking item that's accidentally been put on a Veigar, and you don't want to sell the Veigar because you've got a Yordi synergy active, but then you need that item as well, and that item could have carried you through if you'd have put it on your Poppy. Now, my fourth tip is on checking the meta, as in the item meta and the unit meta. Certain units and certain items just are nowhere near as good as others. Like, for example, Twisted Fate and Elise just aren't really that great at the moment, whereas other items like Kennen, Lulu, Garen are just very OP at the moment. And also the same with the items. There's the Cursed Blade and the Force of Nature and the Static Shiv, which are very, very strong compared to other items. Like, the Cursed Blade de-levels enemy units by 1 star. If someone doesn't know about that and they're holding a Ranger build and not using something like that, then they will definitely be doing worse off than someone who has that knowledge. I literally have my desktop background on my second screen set as an entire cheat sheet, so that I always know which items combine into what, which items are the highest tier. It's got a list of all the different types of enemies and how many there are, just so I can see. Even though I know fairly well, it just gives you that extra bit of, if you need to know quickly and look, you've just got it there ready. Now, my end piece of advice is going to be on the synergies that you choose. Now, some people tend to choose their synergies way too early in the game. You get a few units, you get a few knights, and you think, okay, I'm going to stick with this, and then you get stuck in that mindset of sticking with those knights, when really, if you'd have changed and thought, okay, I've got a few knights on the board, but I've got 2 out of 3 Yordis, and also 2 out of 3 sorcerers, and if I just get a Veigar, you know, then I've got a Yordi and a Sorcerer, which will give me 2 double synergies. Especially if the unit, say for example, you're going for a Garen, yeah, and you've got 2 level 2s and you've got 2 level 1s, and you only need that last Garen, but there's someone else on the board with a level 3 Garen, or someone else on the board with many Garens. You know, if you're hunting for a piece that someone else has got, and you're rolling constantly, and you've spent all of your coins, or even just enough to destroy your entire coin bonus, which is, as soon as you're down and you've lost that, you're really going to struggle to bring it back up. And just because you've been hunting for that one piece that may not be in it may be in the synergy that you've got active, and you may need one more, but sometimes the game really throws hints at you. Like, if you look in the bottom, sometimes I find that I have units constantly appearing that I didn't, you know, like say you're getting loads of Cho'Gaths and appearing, and you've seen it like twice. The game is hinting to you that no one's using Cho'Gath, or that not many people are using it, and maybe if you put that, have a look at your synergies on the right, it might turn out that you need one more Void character or another Brawler to activate another synergy that wasn't quite what you were going for at the start. But if you manage to change your synergy and decide that, I've had games where I've literally been so close to losing and coming off the end of the board with 5 to 10 health, and then I choose to change synergy right at the end, and it's brought me back. And I may have won some, and some you may end up coming 2nd or 3rd, but the difference between coming 2nd and 3rd and coming 6th and 7th, just because you've choose to change a synergy, can really affect the end result of your game. Thanks for watching my tips and guide. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want to know, or any videos you want me to do on anything. Hopefully I've managed to improve your gameplay, and good luck in future games.